Disruptive innovation just really came out of a need to address the fact that the world is changing way too quickly for our clients to adapt and know where to invest in growth and innovation. We've seen, for instance, in the consumer packaged goods industry, something on the order of $17 billion in lost revenue from the big players. And the reason why is consumer tastes have changed dramatically, technology is changing, the way they go to market, so many things that they have lost control of. And this kind of innovation where you lead with disruptors is a new way of doing it that we're finding really helps you get to the things that are going to be winning ideas for the future.
Absolutely, and not that the consumer doesn't still sit at the center of everything. We're not saying that that isn't a critical part of our work, but it's kind of marrying what the consumer needs are with how the world is changing, and we do that by look at the industry disruptors specific to a client. So it's a very specialized, curated look and research into how disruption in the landscape is changing the business for a specific client.
Yeah, I think what a lot of our clients ask is, what is causing all this disruption? Where do I look to figure out what kind of disruption is going to happen that'll help me plan for growth? You want to take that one?
It comes down to, we realize it comes down to three major triggers. There's social triggers, there's market triggers, and there's technology triggers. And that's where we start. We try and dive deeply into those three areas and look at them with a critical lens of what field our client is in, what industry and categories our client plays in. We marry the two together, and the disruptors just beautifully emerge.
Yeah, and I think it's important to think about how to use those disruptors. It can be overwhelming to see all these changes that are happening, but what do I do with them? What they do is they help, and this is what we do for our clients, kind of create a map of the future. What does the world look like 5 or 10 years into the future? Then go talk to your customer, not the other way around. In the old days, and still, I hate to say, there are some companies that still do this. Start with talking to your customer, what are their needs, which of those aren't being met, what kind of innovation or growth ideas could I deploy against those gaps in the market. It just doesn't work anymore because the market's changing too fast. So that's what we really advocate. Start with the new market and what it looks like, and then talk to your customer and figure out their needs in light of those changes.
It lays the space for the future scenarios and the problems to solve in those scenarios by targeting the strategies and the innovation plans that help them to solve and provide solutions for the problems identified.
When we first started, we had clients who approached us about just helping them identify what was going to disrupt their business. What we realized is that when we identify those big disruptive forces and we map out what the future looks like, it opens up a world of opportunities for what kind of innovation to do, where you need to go with your brands or your other assets. Everything you can imagine about running a company and growing and prospering comes from that work. And so what we've done is really deploy that in a big way around innovation. We call it Disruptor-Led innovation.